fly lands on your food. It pauses. It looks around with those huge little eyes. And then it does the weirdest thing possible. It starts rubbing its tiny hands together like it's planning your downfall. Like it just whispered, "Yes, the sandwich is mine." But the fly is not actually plotting. Probably. What it's really doing is way stranger. Because those little hand rubs are not just a random insect habit. They are cleaning. They are tasting. They are survival. And in a gross way, they are part of why flies are so good at being flies. See, a fly does not experience the world like we do. When you want to know what something is, you look at it. Maybe you smell it. Maybe, if you're brave enough, you taste it. A fly is much more direct. It lands on something and immediately starts using its body like a living science kit. Its feet can taste tiny chemical clues. Its mouthparts can check if something is food. And its whole body is covered in little hairs that pick up dust, smells, moisture, and microscopic bits of whatever disgusting thing it just walked through. Which, because it is a fly, could be fruit, or trash, or poop, or your lunch. So when a fly rubs its front legs together, it is often cleaning those sensors. Not because it has manners, because dirty sensors are bad sensors. Imagine trying to smell dinner with your nose full of mud. Or trying to read a message with peanut butter smeared across your glasses. That is basically the problem for a fly. Its legs are covered in tiny sensory hairs. Those hairs help it detect chemicals in the environment. If they get clogged with dust, pollen, food crumbs, or random bathroom horror, the fly loses information. And for an animal that small, losing information can mean losing everything. It needs to know where food is, where danger is, where other flies are, where to land, where not to land, and whether the thing under its feet is something it can eat. So, the rubbing is basically maintenance. Tiny, evil maintenance. But the front legs are only the beginning. Flies groom a lot. They rub their legs over their head. They scrape their wings, they wipe their eyes, they clean their mouth parts. Sometimes they look like they are washing their face like a tiny, nervous cat. And that is because a fly's body is basically a collection of tools. The eyes help it detect fast movement. The antennae help it smell. The feet help it taste. The wings need to stay clear enough to fly. And the sticky pads on its feet help it walk on walls, ceilings, windows, and basically every surface that makes humans feel personally disrespected. Those sticky pads are also part of the problem. A fly's feet can grip smooth surfaces partly because of tiny hairs and a thin layer of sticky fluid. That sounds useful, and it is. But sticky feet also pick up junk, dust, sugar, grease, tiny crumbs, whatever mysterious powder lives on the top of your fridge. So when a fly rubs its legs together, it is also trying to keep its equipment working. Because a fly that cannot climb, taste, smell, or fly properly is basically just a snack with wings. And the world is full of things that want to eat it. Spiders, birds, frogs, other insects, even a human with a rolled-up newspaper and absolutely no patience. So cleaning is not optional. It is survival, but then there is the timing. Why do flies always seem to do it right after they land? That is because landing is when they are collecting the most information. They touch the surface, they taste it with their feet. They decide if it is worth investigating. Then they clean themselves so the next surface does not get mixed up with the last one. A fly does not want its foot sensors covered in old banana juice when it is trying to figure out if the new thing is meat, sugar, danger, or just a very disappointing table. And this is where flies get even more cussed. Because flies do not chew food like we do. Houseflies do not have normal biting jaws for chewing your sandwich. Instead, they use sponge-like mouthparts. When they find solid food, they may spit digestive fluid onto it. That liquid starts breaking the food down. Then, the fly sucks up the softened mess. So, yes, a fly can land on something, taste it with its feet, throw up on it a little, and then drink it. And after doing all that, it may rub its little hands together. Not because it is proud, but because now it is covered in even more stuff. So the hand rubbing is not the dirtiest part of the fly. It is the part where the fly is trying to be less dirty, which is somehow worse, because it means the fly knows it is messy. It just does not care about your emotional state. Now, to be fair, flies are not dirty because they are lazy. They are dirty because of the places they visit. A housefly is not picky. It can land on rotting food, animal waste, garbage, dead things. Then, a few seconds later, it can land on your plate like it was personally invited. That is why flies can spread microbes around. Their bodies can carry tiny hitchhikers from one surface to another. Their feet can pick things up. Their mouthparts can pick things up. Their whole lifestyle is basically a public transportation system for microscopic chaos. But from the fly's point of view, this lifestyle is genius. Rotting stuff is food. Waste is food. Your food is food. Everything is just a possible snack with different smells. And if you are small enough, fast enough, and annoying enough, you can build an entire life around showing up where nobody wants you. The hand rubbing also helps explain why flies are so hard to swat. A fly is constantly gathering information. Its compound eyes are great at detecting motion. Its body is sensitive to air movement. Its legs are ready to launch, so while it looks like the fly is just standing there being weird, it is still very alert. You raise your hand. The air shifts. The fly detects movement. And suddenly, it teleports away, like it has unlocked a cheat code. Then it lands 2 feet away and rubs its hands again. Because apparently surviving your attack was just another business meeting. There is also a weird, emotional reason humans notice this behavior so much. We are pattern-making machines. When we see a tiny creature rubbing its hands together, we connect it to something human. A villain, a greedy cartoon character, a person with a secret plan. But the fly is not thinking like that. It does not have a tiny villain monologue. It is not saying, "Soon the kitchen will be mine." It is just following simple survival routines. Land, taste, clean, eat, escape, over and over. That is the fly's whole world. And honestly, that is what makes it feel even more villainous. Not because it is evil, but because it is efficient. A fly does not need a plan to ruin your picnic. Its normal life already does that. It lands where it should not. It tastes things with its feet. It liquefies food with spit. It cleans its tiny sensors. It dodges your hand. And then it comes back like nothing happened. So the next time a fly lands nearby and starts rubbing its hands together, remember what is actually happening. It is not celebrating. It is not plotting. It is wiping dirt, food, and chemical clues off its tiny body so it can keep sensing the world properly. It is cleaning the same legs it just used to taste your food. It is maintaining the tools that help it climb, smell, eat, escape, and be unbelievably annoying. So no, flies do not rub their hands like villains because they are evil. They rub them because being a tiny, disgusting genius takes maintenance. And unfortunately for us, they are very, very good at their job.